Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel. Tobin here with you, and appreciate you guys checking us out. And if you guys could subscribe, that'd mean a lot to me. And if you could also subscribe to the Tobin and Leroy show, which is available for you on all podcast platforms and also on YouTube, Miami 560 WQAM. Got some big news, of course, on the Dolphins injury front today regarding this game coming up against the Carolina Panthers. And I think what we all feared is that Connor Williams not going to be available for this matchup, which of course puts us up front for, I would say, the most, I don't even want to say the most scrutinized Dolphin out there right now, and that is Liam Eichenberg. Probably came into this year saying that was a two-horse race between him and most likely Austin Jackson. Austin Jackson's been a baller, by the way. He's been just absolutely phenomenal. What a year you have from your former first-round pick. I think that's very exciting stuff. That, on the one end, yeah, people got concerns about Eichenberg. He's on his third position. But on the other end of this thing, Austin Jackson's looked really, really good and has provided a lot for this Miami Dolphins team. That's for sure. But here we go, man. I mean, this is gonna be an important performance for him for sure, because he's going up against a team that's, not very good. I mean, I think we could all say that. Window dressing aside from the Miami Dolphins and everybody out here who is trying to make this seem like, oh no, they're a great team, dude. Let's give respect where respect is due. And I get you. You want to be respectful. It's football, right? But let's be real about it. This is not a good team. They also dealing with a bevy of injuries on their own right. But for the Miami Dolphins, the thing that concerned me from hearing Mike McDaniel today was the idea that they knew playing Connor Williams was going to have residual effects. And that this is an interesting thing from a couple standpoints, because they're a very conservative team as it is with injuries. And so for them to play him against the Giants, knowing that maybe he wasn't all the way back, I know that Connor Williams was supposedly mean-mugging Mike McDaniel and all that stuff, but I do think that they wanted to get that offensive line back humming. And so while you could say you're maybe not taking on as dangerous a front as you were with the New York Giants, because the Giants have a lot of size in the defensive line, it is still, it was still a team that was not very good either. And so getting Connor Williams back out there, you wonder, all right, well, how nervous were they about the whole Liam Eichenberg thing? Because, look, Mike McDaniel's putting on a good front about it. The guy is a player's coach. The guy goes out there and he says the right thing about all those guys. I think that's what everybody appreciates about him. He doesn't throw anybody under the bus. And even today is still trying to sit there and spit how, Liam Eichenberg is keeping things on the right pace. Liam Eichenberg has not painted his final Picasso, is what he said last week, I believe. And so this is a man who is going to put forth publicly a lot of faith in Liam Eichenberg, even knowing that, some things were disrupted from him. But on the other end of this thing, the Dolphins have done a really good job of performing through their injuries and making it through some pretty tough ones. And, this is going to be their second starting offensive lineman out again with Teron Armstead, who got hurt in Liam Eichenberg's last start. Now they're going at this with two complete backups for the entire time. So I do think that we look at this and we're trying to, we're going to see what Liam can do in this performance. And, it's not going to be just him, but I do think that there's going to be a lot of eyes on him as far as how this offense still hums. And it may still not be enough, even though Connor could be back for the Eagles game, because we're not really sure on where this lies, if this is going to be a lingering thing. But if it is, you don't really have any other options. This is the guy they're going to go with. This is the guy they're going to go in the foxhole with. So the other discouraging thing that happened is we got the news of Jeff Wilson. Seems like he's doubtful, unlikely to play this week. He did return back from practice, but that's certainly a bit of a blow as well, because no Devon Achane. We know he's going on IR. And, it's like, look, I'm excited to see, what Ahmed and Chris Brooks. I mean, like Chris Brooks, dude, that dude's a moose. People love how physically he is on the blocks. I mean, he is a terror. I do like watching Chris Brooks play some football. Don't get me wrong, dude. I mean, he is like blowing plays up. He's a terror. He's a freight train. We saw what he did in the preseason. We see that run that he had that made Tua giddy. So I like watching Chris Brooks play football. Don't get me wrong. And Ahmed, I mean, arguably the best player in the preseason. But certainly you were hoping to have, I would say, a more proven commodity come in there. Even Ahmed's got experience. Don't get me wrong, but those were your two backs, Mostert and Wilson. That was what you had. Obviously, Mike McDaniel has a lot of faith in him. The fact that we're not getting that here for week 6 of the season against the Carolina Panthers, it sucks, man. And the injuries are just piling up. I think that's just I know it's the NFL, it hits everybody, but no, the Dolphins have had a lot of key guys that they've done a really, really, really good job of managing guys being out. Jalen Phillips is out. Von Ginkel steps in. Teron's out. Kendall Lamb does a great job. Cornerback, they've managed not having Jalen Ramsey. Don't have Jalen Waddle. They score 70. So they've done a good job, but it does get to a point where it's like, well, how many blows to the team and significant players can you take? How many can you get through? And this was one where I think, okay, we lose Acham, but Jeff Wilson stepping in this week. We'll be all right, baby. And it doesn't seem like that's the case. It does seem like Jalen Phillips is positively trending. I'd really like to see what he brings to the table. I would say out of everybody, he had a ton of hype coming into the year. So for him not to be out there yet is it sucks. I want to see Jalen Phillips out there. Dude's a moose. And honestly, Moose doesn't even do. He's like a rhinoceros with agility. He's just scary bearing down on quarterbacks. And certainly you have a quarterback here in Bryce Young who is tiny. So you'd like somebody who can rattle him a little bit and see what it's like coming after that kind of terror. Now, look, Von Ginkel's arguably been the Dolphins' best, most consistent, most impactful, whatever adjective you want to put around that gorgeous hair of his. He's been incredible. And so Jalen Phillips does have to be looking at that and be like, damn, dude, this is supposed to be a big year for me. And, let's get it going a little bit. Let's get out there and make an impact and make things happen. Alec Ingold, again, seems like he is on the right move, on the right trend. He's been back at practice dealing with a foot thing, but all eyes are going to be centered at that center spot. I mean, they are. We're all going to be zoned in, and hopefully this is a get right game for him. This is a game where he ups that confidence, gets it going. If this does linger for Connor Williams, there is a big time matchup on Sunday Night Football. If you boost that confidence a little bit coming into it with a performance before you get in there and take on the Philadelphia Eagles, who are stacked, defending NFC champs, still undefeated, have looked great. So yeah, it's good that you get Liam Eichenberg one more game against a bad team, because look, we'll say to give the guy a break. Like hell, the Bills is a tough test to go in there. I mean, they have one of the deepest defensive lines out there, but we know what a great team Philadelphia is. So you'd like to get things going this week, trending in the right direction, get his mojo going in the right spot, get him feeling good. And then hopefully this guy, if this is something with Connor that lasts or flares up, you have once again, a feeling of a capable backup who's got things going in the right direction, has things feeling in a good spot. But it needs to start this week against Carolina for Liam. That's for sure.